All right, let's just get right into it. Tyrese and bennedictmathurin are really good, and I believe they can be one of the best backcourts in the league in a couple years. The first part of this backcourt is Tyrese. Now, Tyrese got traded to the Pacers at the trade deadline last year for Domantas Sabonis. At the time the trade was made, everyone said this was a terrible move by the Kings and the Pacers fleeced them. At the time, I agree with the take. It wasn't a good move by the Kings, but at the time, I wasn't saying it was a fleece. But I didn't expect Tyrese to be this good. Last season, once he got to the Pacers, he averaged 17.5 points per game, 4.3 rebounds per game, 9.6 assists per game, while shooting 50.2% from the field and 41.6% from 3 on 5 attempts per game. And he shot 84.9% from the line, which were good numbers, but he improved even more on those numbers. So far this season, he's averaging 21.9 points per game, which is a 4-point increase from last season, 5.1 rebounds per game, which is 0.8 more than he had last season, 9.3 assists per game, which is 0.3 less than he had last year, but it's basically the same. He's shooting 49.6% from the field, which is a 0.6% decrease from last season. He's shooting 43.9% from deep on 6 attempts per game, which is a 2.3% increase from last season. Shooting better from deep on more attempts than he was last season, which makes that really impressive. He's also shooting 87.8% from the line, which is a 2.9% increase from last season. Almost everything increased significantly besides his assists per game and his field goal percentage, and those things only decreased a little bit. Offensively, he can score from all 3 levels. He's good at finishing at the rim. He has great touch. He has a good floater game. He's good in the mid-range. He can get to the spots well, whether that's off the dribble in the ISO situation, out of the pick and roll, or when he's coming off a screen. He's great from deep. Even though he has a weird jump shot, it goes in at an efficient rate. He can do any type of three-point shot, whether that's off the catch, coming off a screen, or pulling up from 4 feet behind the three-point line. He has crazy range. Now for his playmaking, it's really good. He's great in the pick and roll, whether that's hitting Mylesturner or Isaiah Jackson rolling to the rim for a layup or a lob. Or also in the pick and roll, he's good at hitting the guy spotting up in the opposite corner or wing, whether that's Buddy Hield, Mathurin, Durate, or Aaron Nesmith. Sometimes he makes a crazy pass, and I'm wondering, how did he see that guy open? I swear he has eyes in the back of his head. Defensively, he's good at playing passing lanes and getting steals, which leads him to being able to get out in transition and create easy looks for himself or others, whether that's an open layup or kicking out to a shooter on the perimeter. Haliburton's not a great defender, but he's not a negative on that end. He's an average or above average defender. Right now, he's playing at an all-star level and playing like a top 7 point guard in the league. It wouldn't surprise me if he was an all-star this season and be one of the finalists for the most improved player award. And for the future, I believe when Tyrese is in his prime, he'll be considered a top 12 player in the league. Now, Bennedictmathurin, I talked about him in a previous video when I was talking about standout rookies, but he's still been amazing since that video. So far this season, he's averaging 20.7 points per game, 3.9 rebounds per game, 2.1 assists per game, while shooting 45.6% from the field, 42.9% from 3 on 6.2 attempts per game, and he's shooting 85.7% from the line. Offensively, he can really score the basketball, he can get to the rim, he's really athletic, man. He can score in the mid-range, and he's great from deep, which is something I didn't expect him to be good at this early. I expected him to shoot between 34 to 36% while getting adjusted to the NBA three-point line. But he proved me wrong on that. His shot selection at times could be better though. But that is something I expect to improve as the season goes on. But there are times he takes some difficult long mid-range shots and I'm like, bro, why are you shooting that? Playmaking wise, it's not a strong suit right now. He is more of a score first type guy, and sometimes he does get tunnel vision, which is fine because even though he's not a good or great playmaker, Haliburton makes up for that because he is an amazing playmaker. Defensively, he's solid. That freakish athleticism I mentioned earlier does show up on the defensive end as well. There was a play in the Heat game in the middle of the third quarter. Kyle Lowry was going up for a basket in transition. Mathurin came from behind him and jumped high enough to where his forehead was at the backboard and he blocked it, leading to the Pacers getting out in transition. Now he still makes defensive mistakes that most rookies make, like struggling navigating screens or falling asleep off ball at times. Mathurin would be the rookie of the year any other year, but Paolo's such a level above him and every other rookie in this class, it's Paolo's award at this point. Right now, Mathurin's playing at the level that he's the second best player in this rookie class that's playing. For the future, I see a player that will consistently make the All-Star game and be one of the best players in his position, and to be between a top 25 to 30 player in the league at his peak. With these two players, the Pacers have a really bright future in the faces of their franchise for the next 10 to 12 years. I appreciate you watching the video. If you could like the video and subscribe to the channel, I would appreciate it. I'll see you on the next video. More content on the way.